so there's a practice that I wish to share with you all that's coming through, and that is specifically when the soul has a question, we can ask it. And sometimes the answer won't come right away, so we can ask again. And then simply be present, be still, be open and receptive to receive the response. Receive our own unique truth, our own unique answer to the question. So the question that I've been asking is, what is life? What is life? What is life? And then listening, what is the answer? What is life? And what is the soul here for? To experience life. What is life? And then opening to feel that in my vessel. Feel, what does life feel like? The energy, the current of life coursing through my body. And then of course, in tandem with that, what is the antithesis of life? And understanding that, right? So then understanding when there feels like there's an absence of life, right? So all we have to do right now is look out and look within and see the, overpowering experience of a lot of death, right? A lot of death. And what does death feel like in the body? It feels like the breath is contracted and very shallow. It feels like, it feels like an absence of that pulsing life force, vital energy, right? It feels like lounging on the sofa and flipping through channels on the television mindlessly, almost numb, right? There's a numbness and there's a seeking for something external to fill that numbness, right? So it's akin to the hungry ghost, right? Who feels this deep void inside and yet is seeking to be entertained, to be filled with food, with substances, with experiences, with the satiation of desires. However, those desires are never filled because the hungry ghost remains the hungry ghost until the hungry ghost is filled from within and revitalized, replenished from within, so they transform to the fulfilled soul. And then there's no need for all of this to be fed through the external, because one is full on life and vitality, right? The hungry ghost comes to life. It's no longer a ghost, mindlessly feeding off of the external. And so, I see and feel all of the ways that humanity, and myself included, certainly, we've numbed ourselves, right? We've numbed ourselves and we've settled again and again. Kind of, you see that vitality in children, and then over the years, gradually, there comes kind of like this density and this collapse of the physical vessel. This giving up in a way and closing off to that soul spark, to that real vital current that wishes to flow through at all times, right? But we have to remain open, we have to remain receptive and be in the practices of opening to life. That's so key, and it's so, of course we come into this realm and we're surrounded by mindless activities and numbing and all of that, right? So I know that for myself growing up, many years I was mute. Many years I was extremely contracted and very afraid to speak, very afraid, right? So that current of life force energy, it was very closed and cut off. I was very cut off from life. I was more in alignment with the energy of death, the energy of the void, of emptiness. That felt more safe and at home than allowing life in, right? Allowing life in was like scary because what could life bring? I don't know. It's unpredictable. I don't know. It felt scary to let that current of life and vital energy come alive within my being, right? And so now the practice has been noticing where those old patterns of contraction, where they're arising, and where I feel my breath shallow, become a little bit more shallow and contracted. And then I go there and I tune in and I ask these questions, right? Or I simply presence first, simply presence what's there. Presence, I feel very contracted. I feel like I can't breathe. I feel empty, uncertain, whatever it may be, right? I feel uneasy in my vessel. And simply bringing the awareness, bringing the breath to that, it begins to transform simply by that holding space for it to be, and then life, that current of life, can begin to enter in. And the breath begins to return, right? It can take time to develop a practice of bringing the attention of the soul, really coming to be present with what is there. And then allowing it to animate of its own, right? Allowing whatever needs to be cleared to clear out, and allowing whatever needs to come back online, come alive again, to come alive. So that's been the practice recently, is really connecting with what is life, what does it feel like in the body, right? Because we all, we would say with our minds that we truly want life, right? We want to live fully. And yet, if we truly become attentive to our day-to-day, how many times are we fully receptive to that life force energy? And how many times are we actually contracting and tuning it out in various ways, or seeking externally, being distracted by things externally, and not filling up with this vital current of energy from within, right? Because we will never be filled from without. So it's really incumbent upon us during this time to find these ways, these practices, to bring the energy back online within the body, within presence, within the breath. And tune in, what does life feel like? What does it look like? What does it look like? And be present, right? First, of course, being present with where one is, exactly where one is. And then opening the space, inviting for a life, a current of life, to begin to animate that and see what arises. So that's the practice that is coming through that I wish to share. And loving you all so much during this wild time of rebirth and coming back to life, right? Coming back to life in a new way, right? Because there is no return to normal. There's always ever becoming, ever blossoming into something that's an upgrade, that's that's novel in a way, right? A new level of beingness. And so, yeah, I bless you in your blossoming, in your becoming. And I'm excited to continue to witness all the ways, all the beautiful flowers that are emerging in this field of becoming and remembering our true soul's essence and learning to embody that more and more in the days and weeks and years to come. So loving you all. Thank you.